Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. My guest today is Newbs. Hey Newbs, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. So I'll start as I start with everyone. Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter?
Oh God.
Yep.
I've been constantly watching a lot more Achievement Hunter stuff lately. And it's so 50-50 for me. I'm gonna go Achievement Hunter right now though. Let's do that.
Okay, fair enough. Is that because at the moment it's just like, yes, this is really what's been entertaining the most, or?
It's mainly been like they've had a very constant and consistent schedule going on, and I love RVB. Ruby, to be honest with you, I've only watched maybe like 5 episodes of it, and I get the appeal, but and then with all the other stuff like the RT shorts and things like that, it feels like they're trying to. Don't want to say they're trying to catch up because they started first, but Achievement Hunter has definitely like found its niche and is just going with it, and I really enjoy their content. So yeah.
Cool.
How about yourself?
Well, I'm a Rooster Teeth fan, and with everything that's going on at the moment, and the Happy Hour and the Ruby and the RVB having just finished, I'm completely swayed over to their side at the moment. But,
Happy Hour has been a blast to watch. I haven't seen the latest one yet that they just released, but
it came out a few hours ago. But yeah, it's enjoyable. I think it's a bit gross, but it's just that's because of the nature of what they're doing. But yeah, find it interesting. So you how did you discover Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter? Which did you discover first as well? Probably Rooster Teeth, if I can recall correctly.
Definitely Rooster Teeth. I discovered that first. I was back in like 2005, maybe 2004. I was watching a few of their there was a downloading program called Aries, which is similar to like LimeWire and Kazaa and things like that, where you would share files. And I saw, I was just looking up random Halo videos, like the Halo it's not Blood Ghost, the Warthog jump, and a few things like that. And I stumbled upon a PSA for Red versus Blue. It was the real life versus the internet. And saw that, laughed my ass off, never understood it, but I saw at the end it said visit redversusblue.com for more. Went to the website, noticed that they had a bunch of like they had a full series going on, and instead of watching it on the website, I just went back to Aries and downloaded the first 2 seasons. Somebody had painstakingly just downloaded the files and then added them all together in one go. So I just watched all of those seasons just back to back constantly, and yeah, started from there and didn't join the site until about 2009. And yeah.
Okay, what prompted you to join the site?
I noticed that there was an actual community group on the site, and I think I joined the site because I wanted to comment on all the comics. And like back when Luke McKay had worked for them, and it was a goal of mine every Friday. It was Tuesdays. God, when did they come out? Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I think. I would always be on the website refreshing the page, trying to get it where I could get one of the first comments, the first 30 comments in the comment thread, and come up with something witty.
Yeah.
And just kind of start getting noticed that way. And yeah, I did it on a few of them. And then after that, I recognized that there were tournaments about to happen. And then that's what made me become a sponsor, because I wanted to start hosting tournaments, even though I didn't really know anyone on the site. And after that, good friend Dop, he started commenting on some of the stuff because I was doing a lot of music voting tournaments. And just long story short, that got me to end up going to RTX with him for the first year, and then all of this. It's just like it just expanded like crazy very quickly.
Cool. So it seems like you were just like, I want to jump into the community, but you found what you wanted to do, and then I guess everything just happened to fall in line behind it, and everything just turned out the way that I guess it did, obviously. But
pretty much so, yeah.
Sounds really a unique approach to the website that I hadn't considered at all, actually.
Yeah, not that many people use the tournaments feature anymore, and I mean, I don't either. But it was definitely interesting to see how that worked at the beginning, because I think I was one of the only people that was actually using it, but I was using it in the completely wrong way. It
Right.
was meant for like gaming tournaments and stuff like that, but I was using it to like vote for your favorite new metal band or vote for your favorite this kind of thing. It's like I was doing that instead, and it was just kind of ridiculous.
Cool. Like that's like blowing my mind right now that like using things not how they're supposed to on their website is just crazy
Yeah.
to me. So how has like the change in the community, I don't know if I'm phrasing this right at all, like how have you seen the community change over, I guess, the last few years?
Over the course of me being on the site,
Yeah.
it's definitely, after the last couple of years, it has definitely went from the community and the staff like kind of cohesively working together and like commenting on stuff and doing things where it felt more like I know I came in later in the community, but I'm sure it was even more so that way, but it felt like everybody could hang out and chat, and I don't know, like basically they became celebrities very quickly after the first RTX, and it became a thing where like hanging out with a staff member or hanging out with a group of friends became very difficult because everyone wanted to hang out with everyone, and it slowly turned into a oh shit kind of moment where you're like, okay, it reached critical mass. Like the Rooster Teeth community has definitely reached a critical mass at the moment, and it seems to keep growing bigger. I keep seeing like newer people show up, and I'm just like, who the hell is this person? Like I would think I'd have a lockdown on who's who in the community, like who are some of the top people, but then it just completely changes after a month, and you're just like, okay, interesting. And yeah, I think that just kind of goes hand in hand with like getting older and stuff like that, things changing, and kind of it's really weird to see. I know I'm rambling here about this, but like yeah, it's a cool change. Part of me does wish it went back to like, not really sure how to go back on that, but I'm just gonna stop right now because yeah, it's very, I'm
Yeah.
rambling right now, but
Okay.
yeah, I've seen it change for the better for the most part, and it's really interesting to see how globally huge Rooster Teeth has become, and especially
Yeah.
the community in general.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it certainly seems like everyone, no matter when they joined, always seems to be like, oh, I must have missed it by a few months, or oh, things used to be better, and things like that. But it's still like a prime time to be in the community right now, anyway. And people
Oh,
just
yeah.
seem jaded that they missed their time when, in reality, now's a brilliant time to be around too.
Yeah,
So,
I think a lot of people like say that like they miss their opportunity, and the opportunity that they're talking about is like getting to know the staff members on a personal level, like actually chatting with them or something like that, because they do see some like prime users and stuff like that, and they'll just interact with the staff, and people are just like, oh, I want that kind of a thing. It's weird, but and they focus on that, and instead of just going off and doing their own thing, like meeting people on the site instead, they just kind of delve into that, and it gets kind of spooky every once in a while with that. That's when you get like the fanboy stuff happening, and then you're just like, oh shit, okay.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, crazy. So, how about the community in your local area? I know that. Well, I say I know that you run the RT Minnesota group, or you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I thought I was gonna say I know you run this, and I was like, pretty sure I've done my fact checking right. But
Oh,
yeah,
you're good.
how did that group come about?
That group came about. There was a group formerly known as RVBMN, and it was a small, tight knit group of Minnesota users that hung out a bunch. And when I joined the site, that group had pretty much died. Like, there weren't that many people active in it. There was a few people like Zach and a few others like just would chat every once in a while about possibly getting together. And then I decided after the first, it was me, what's his name on the site, Razed and Genocide. We all three of us had went down to RTX, not knowing each other and not realizing that we were all from Minnesota. And we came back up and said, hey, we want to keep doing this. We want to keep hanging out. So we just decided to start that up again and called it RTMN instead. And just things are pretty nice right now. It's just like we get together once a month and hang out and play video games or drink or grill or just shoot the shit. And it's pretty interesting, pretty entertaining.
Ah, cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd love a group like in the UK that's active enough to have something being done like once a month. But
yeah,
the way the UK is, people don't tend to be like, oh, let's go out and have fun, like with people from the internet. Like there's not really that culture in the UK RT community, and it's just a bit disappointing because people aren't willing to travel that far. But yeah, it's really cool that like you can be like, oh, I met these people at RTX, and then we went back and we've been meeting every month ever since, which is
pretty much, yeah,
really cool. How large is the group, and how good is the turnout?
Size wise for the group, I think we're almost at 200 members, but a lot of them were the inactive members from the older group because we just had the group name changed by a site admin. And but turnout wise, we've actually started getting a lot more people once we started the once a month kind of like get-togethers. Like on RT Community Day, we try getting together and doing something new every month, and we've been seeing maybe about 10 people an event turnout. Sometimes it goes a little shorter than that because it's on a weekday, but like we have the Master Chief Collection comes out on the Xbox One here very shortly, and we got a LAN party set up for that, and we're actually seeing a lot more people like going, holy crap, I want in on this. And it's people that we don't even know, so it's pretty entertaining and pretty cool to see that happening, where you're just like, oh shit, okay, we found something that people want, let's do it.
Cool. That sounds really exciting. Like I'd love to have like a LAN party set up and just be like, yes, Master Chief Collection. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so another group you're, I guess, in charge of, if I'm still correct in what I've done my research on, is the Rooster Speak group.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep going. You got that.
I was going to say it's done on TeamSpeak, and what gave rise to it coming into being?
Could you repeat that real quick?
Okay, yeah. What gave rise to Rooster Speak coming into being?
Oh, well, basically, Rooster Speak spun off another group, and a lot of the I had joined the older group, which was RT Live, and that was before RTX, the first one in 2011, where like Dop, again, he had some like foresight to basically say, hey, you're going to meet a lot of these people that are on this server down in Austin, so you might as well just start chatting with them. Started chatting with them, like I jumped on a few times, and then after RTX, we came back and some issues popped up with RT Live, and quite a few of the user base group wanted to create their own thing and basically do another TeamSpeak server, and that's how Rooster Speak came about. And I actually came up with the name of it while drinking at a wedding, which was kind of weird. Like everybody was like, God, we don't even have a name for this thing, and then I just show up out of nowhere, kind of the new guy, and I'm just like, hey, how about this? And lo and behold, that happened, and then that happened in June of 2009? No, not, yeah, June or July of 2000, no, wait, why 2009? 2011.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit early.
It's like, wait a minute.
2009, when you were talking about RTX 2011? What?
We're time travelers, man. You can't stop us. No, it basically turned out there, and I became a moderator, and then slowly but surely I actually like became an admin, and I started doing the updates with a few other people, and it just grew into what it has become, and it's kind of nice. It's it's a nice little niche like section of the community that's we're trying to open it up more and more, and that can be difficult sometimes, but yeah, everything that's kind of how it became. Like we just all loved chatting together, and Xbox Live and Skype were kind of crappy, so we're just like, all right, let's keep on TeamSpeak. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, and TeamSpeak can have lots of people like chatting at the same time and different channels as well.
Yeah, that can
Like,
get
it's free
that
to
can
move
get
around.
crazy though at a point. Like if you got a lot of people chatting at the same time, it's like, oh god, okay, um, what do we do?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, there's something I was going to ask about Rooster Speak, and I can't remember exactly what it was. So I will move on, and if I remember, I will come back to it.
All right.
But the what like function does? Oh no, I was going to say what kind of things do you do regularly on the TeamSpeak server? I've seen news posts about it, but why don't you give us an idea of what kind of things you do weekly?
Okay. We usually have a weekly movie night where Warpeck will pick another admin on here. She'll pick a movie based on suggestions from the Rooster Speak community. Like this month in particular, in October, we're doing a bunch of horror films, and we had a lot of suggestions for different ones over the course of the last year, and we're just like, you know what? Let's just get them all in 1 month, and we usually will watch a movie once a week. We'll have a group of people chatting, like text chat, during the RT podcast when that's live streamed, and then we tend to have a game night once a week as well, where we all play like Halo Reach or Minecraft or anything like that. And then every night on the server, we usually have a good group of 15 to 20 people either playing like League or Legends or just sitting up in the lobby and chatting and talking about their days and meeting new people and all that fun jazz. So yeah, that's basically how the server runs. And we're actually doing this thing now. Noblesteed came up with an idea where we do an achievement challenge league where every month, if you sign up, you get to challenge someone to 3 to 5 different achievements that you've completed, but they haven't. And then vice versa, you get challenged by another person to complete a bunch of like achievements. So if you're really proud of one of those achievements that you've gotten on the Xbox or on Steam or anything like that, you can challenge someone to it, and then they have to do it within a month. And it's been very entertaining, and it's a new, like a breath of fresh air kind of a thing to the server, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we got going on right now in the server a lot of the times.
Cool. Sounds like it's such a great idea. Like I've seen it pop up a few times. The challenge league. It's been going a few months now, I think.
Yeah,
I've seen at least.
It's a really, like when Dan proposed at Noblesteed, it was just like, oh shit, okay. Why didn't we think of this earlier? Or why hasn't even Achievement Hunter thought about that? And it's like, goddamn, all right, let's keep going.
Cool. So let's carry on with that and speak about games that you enjoy. What kind of games do you enjoy, and which ones in particular are you plunging a lot of time into?
I'm more of like a social gamer. I've always been that way growing up, and I basically really enjoy Halo, Minecraft, and God, any party games, like anything like from like Mario parties or Mario Kart and things like that, where you interact with friends more. Like you just keep playing with other people. And I will definitely say Halo is probably top of the list right now. I have been playing a lot of Destiny, which is fun, but yeah, when that Master Chief Collection comes out, I'm going to be gone for quite a while with it. It's going to be a blast.
Halo 2 multiplayer is going to be so good.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
So excited about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Okay, yeah, so aside from do you play any like games solo, or is it just like just multiplayer really?
I try to play video games solo, but my attention span kind of drops. especially if I'm not playing with people. Like I'll play Pokemon or something like that. Like currently playing a Soul Silver on my DS lately, and that's been fun. But yeah, it definitely gets like boring to me. Like I really want to just be playing with friends, if anything. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So another thing I know about you from reading journals and things is that you run a lot. Running to me is something that I've become kind of fascinated within like the last year, I think.
Yeah.
How long have you been running?
I've been running since 2009, 2010, I'd say. I
Okay.
recently picked it up like from that because I used to be a swimmer my whole life. And then after high school, I kind of just said, nah, I'm done with swimming. And I started to get a little pudgy in college. And then I recognized that. And it's like, all right, I'll just start running. And just kind of built up into, I do it once every other day or once every 2 days and stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty relaxing. It's just nice to go out and punch a couple miles out. Like today I still have to run 8 miles, and it's just like, oh shit. Okay, it's always a task to like kind of churn the wheels up and get going, but after a while it just feels really good.
Yeah, definitely. So what kind of running do you do? Long distance, short distance, cross country?
I kind of do a mix of long distance and like cross country, like trail running. And yeah, in February, actually, I'm planning on running the Austin, Texas Marathon. So
cool.
I'm starting to train for that, and that should be entertaining in the least bit. It's also going to be scary because I live up in Minnesota, and I have to train during the wintertime up here. So that's definitely going to provide a real challenge where I have to go running in like negative degree weather and stuff like that, just so I'm ready for the next race or for the race. And it's like, oh shit, okay, keep going.
Crazy. Have you ran many marathons before?
Nope, this will be my very first one.
Oh wow, good luck with it.
Thank you. It's gonna be scary. The longest distance I've ever ran is 10 miles, so it should get interesting quick.
Yeah, I remember like I ran 20k one day, and like I was like, oh god! Like afterwards, I was just like, that was a mistake.
Legs are just jelly.
Mistake. Yeah, just couldn't do anything. I was like, oh no, I'm stuck in my chair.
How long have you been running for?
Like I said, I've been running probably for about a year and a half, but I've been doing fitness training for a long time, But running just caught me, and I was like, oh yeah. But I've been doing a lot of like cross country style running, and we do things like Tough Mudders. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Like
they have Tough Mudder over there.
Yeah, we have a few. There's quite a lot actually, and I took part in 2 this year, and they're both like 10k runs, and I've had so much fun doing them
with a buttload of other stuff in the way. Yeah, I've always wanted to do one of those. It's just that in the Minnesota area, there's not many friends that want to do it as well. Like they're all just kind of like, we may pass on this. It's like,
I just went for it on my own. I was just like, screw it, I'll be fine. Yeah.
God, and I'm assuming since you've done 2 of them, that's a decent amount of training. That's a lot to work with. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have much problem motivating myself to go running or go to the gym or anything because I've got a fitness instructor's qualification, but that's not what my job is at all. So I just like to give myself my own knowledge and be like, right, I need to do this to just do this, and then I've set myself like crazy goals for a year. Like this year was to do one of those 10k runs, and I was just like, yes, goal achieved. And then I was like, I'm hooked, I need to do more. So yeah,
that's usually how it goes. After a while you go, okay, this is entertaining, but it's not fulfilling enough, so let's go to the next level. It's like, oh shit. And then eventually you're doing triathlons or anything like that. It's just like, oh dear God.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so let's move on to one final thing that I've picked up on is the fact that you play guitar, something that it's like very close to my heart. Playing guitar is something that I
Yeah.
absolutely adore doing. But how did you start? How did you start playing guitar, and how did you pick it up?
I started playing guitar back in ninth grade, I think it was. So that was, God, that's a long time ago.
How old would you have been? Because
Ooh,
grades for me
13?
don't really work. Okay.
13
Yeah.
maybe 14. But I started picking up, I started just playing by myself and teaching myself how to play. And yeah, it kind of spawned from always listening to like hard rock and metal music and just really connecting with the instrumental side of all of that stuff, because I rarely listen to like lyrics in songs. And
I find the same thing. I find myself like I might enjoy the melody of the lyrics, but not typically the lyrical content.
yeah, it's very tough, like, for me to go, oh, I almost like listen to music and hear the band and hear the singer singing, and that's almost like another instrument to me. Like, I don't even pay attention to lyrics unless they're like very apparently like a very apparent, and just like, oh, you're talking about this now, okay, I'll listen. But yeah, it's the guitar stuff definitely just interests me because of how technically like challenging it was, especially for like hand-eye coordination and things like that. And it was just really fun to be able to be like, all right, I really love this song, I'm gonna learn how to play it. And that challenge always drove me to keep doing it. And yeah, that's basically how I started picking up guitar. How about yourself?
Yeah, I started when I was 14. I was like, I really want to learn to play guitar because it was just like one of those things. I've always adored music, and much like you, I was into hard rock and heavy metal, and I was like, yes, this is just fantastic, and I want to learn how to do that. Like I said before, I enjoy I enjoy the music probably more than the lyrics. So, and to me, I said this like earlier in the year to like people I worked with, like when I'm listening to stupidly heavy music, like I just consider the voice another instrument rather than technically singing. So it doesn't matter to me whether someone's
Like
screaming and shouting
this,
rather than just singing cleanly. It's just another way to use the voice as an instrument. So I was just like, that's fascinating. Yeah,
awesome.
I've just been playing, and I've just been writing so much recently. I'm just like, pick up the guitar, write some music, and just have some fun. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool. So this is bringing it to the end. And I will ask you to ask me a question. So what is it? And let's see if I can answer it without getting uncomfortable.
It's not gonna be that uncomfortable of one.
Okay.
How? We're gonna go back. We're gonna kick it with the music stuff here again. Name your top 3 favorite bands, like hard rock or heavy metal bands, and give me a reason why.
Okay. So one of my favorite bands is a band called Diablo Swing Orchestra, because they do something completely unique. They play metal that you can like. It's really difficult to describe. I'd say it's metal you can ballroom dance to, because it's just like these fascinating beats and like the really weird melodies, but things you'd typically find in like I don't necessarily mean ballroom dancing, but I mean like proper choreographed dancing with a partner. It's but I find it really fascinating to listen to. But that, yeah, like I said, Diablo Swing Orchestra, one of my favorite bands for sure.
All right.
Then how do I choose a second? A second would probably be Soilwork, because I saw them live before I saw them before I heard any of their music, and their live performance just so raw that I was immediately drawn to it. And then upon finding their album, I was just like, this is just incredibly well put together, heavy music, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And
yeah.
I was just like, this is excellent. And the third of the bands, I'm trying to just choose.
It's tough. It's very tough to narrow them down.
What do I listen to a lot? Okay, I'm just going to say it's Paramore, probably, because it's great. And I like how Hayley Williams sings, and I just think that with all the heavy music that I listen to, that I like having a dichotomy of styles with the music that I
Yeah.
do listen to. So I like having something ridiculously heavy and then something a little bit not heavy. And Paramore kind of fills that void.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I can agree with that. Yeah, I definitely have like a fair share of really heavy music, but I've definitely been delving into this calmer stuff just because, one, having a girlfriend, you kind of, who doesn't like the heavy stuff, you kind of gotta throw something else on in the car while you're driving together. Otherwise, it can get a little weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up there, Noobs. Thank you very much for being my guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun.
This was brilliant. I've got like a massive smile on my face. And thank you very much to anyone who was listening. Goodbye.
Bye.